Hey, Vox here. So, if you're familiar with the NFL or Madden at all in the Ultimate Team, you'll have known of Eric Dickerson, right? One of the finest running backs to ever play the game. Did everything you needed a running back to do, to run through dudes, run around dudes, score touchdowns. He won some ball games for him, okay? And so his, entire play style was kind of put into Madden 20, and I'm going to kind of tell his story and why his Madden 20 NFL 100 card is the most absurd, evil, worst card Madden ever printed. Most overpowered, in my opinion. There's a lot of contenders, and we've done videos on that before. And I kind of want to tell the story of Eric Dickerson in Madden 20 and why he was so powerful, because there was a lot of things that came together that made this one particular card kind of insane and really made him stand out over, in my opinion, every running back ever, probably since Tecmo Super Bowl or Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson. So let's talk about Madden 20 just as a base game, okay? Madden 20 came out the gate, and it was one of those years that I ended up hearing about this later on from some inside EA stuff, that there was a thing going on in the community that patches ruined the game. And this is something that has been kind of going around the game for years, right up until Madden 20. So in Madden 20, the developers said, hey, let's just try and patch this game as little as possible as far as the meta, right? So people can't criticize us for ruining the game. So they ruined it day one and just let that sit the whole year. Like, Madden 20 was the only time in my life where I questioned, should I be creating content? Week one, I saw the meta, and luckily I didn't hear about this until much later, the Madden 20, them not patching or changing much. And obviously they patched out some bugs they do every year, but here's the thing, it was there, right? Day one, Madden 20, it was send the house on defense, made passing very hard because deep thirds would literally play the flats. Basically, if you face anybody top end online, going under center is death if you are going to try and pass the ball. The pressure comes in so hard against under center. Like, when I played W, I was sacked before I finished my drop back because of how harsh the pressure was, even blocking 7. So because of the way the offensive line sucks again this year, it's bad. It's really bad. Bombs away. You have to send pressure. You have to send pressure. If you don't, you will get exploited by good players. Against bad players, you can do whatever the hell you want because they're bad, right? So Madden 20 was a heavy blitz year. Now, they gotten rid of nanos a few years prior with nano detection so that we can go through the AGATs, but it was like off the edge, glitch through tackles, tight ends, get to the quarterback ASAP. So it was a running year, right? Because it all culminated at the end of the year in the MCS, the Madden Championship Series, where a player, in order to hand the ball off faster, put a punter at quarterback. And he was able to win and beat every best Madden player in the entire world with a punter at quarterback just because the run game was so strong. And by this point, Eric Dickerson was banned. You could not use this card in the championship. So it was a run game, okay? It was already absurdly strong. And this Eric Dickerson card, this NFL 100 card, had an ability, an X factor active, right? The freight train broke every single first tackle. And you're like, well, okay, 93 speed, acceleration, agility, kind of low there. But with theme teams, with speed boosts that you could get, I think you get 97 or 98, I believe you were getting in this Eric Dickerson NFL 100 once you all fully boosted him up. So he is almost endgame speed right there, along with an ability. And remember in Madden 20, because Madden 20, we can only have 3 guys on each side of the ball active. So unlike 23, where we have similar X factors, you can put secure tacklers all across your defense. Madden 18, like 23 is a much more, it's a year a lot like 18 was, where you could have superstars there with built-in abilities. But like 18 was like two-hand touch. Everybody had secure tackler out there by the end of the year. Madden 20, in order to make superstars feel like superstars, they added these abilities, and you can only activate 3 at a time. So obviously the offense would activate him. The defense, then you'd have to hope to run into him with one of your secure tacklers, which was pretty hard to do. I guess your user, and then your user could get blocked. And the absurd thing about Madden 20 is that it was such a good run year because the game was glitchy, right? The game then, not only like things that happened where like you'd run into the pile, you'd fall over, the defense stopped going, and then you just get back up and keep running. There were absurd glitches like that, right? Linebackers took terrible pursuit angles, safeties. It was the perfect year for running because the meta had set it up for that. A very hard year to pass. Now, the only exception was this, right? It was rollout corners where you could cut the end and roll out to the edge because it was an absurd joystick year. Like you actually had like probably one of the best years of Madden ever as far as joystick feeling two actual on-field players. Now there's actually like momentum. Madden 20, there was no momentum. It was much more of an arcade-based game. Now some people like that. Some people really enjoy the arcade-based feel of Madden. You know, we are playing a video game after all, but you know, a lot of the simulation community is kind of taken over. They didn't like that. You know, they've tried to get away from pre-canned animations, you know, like the one-on-one catching ability of Madden 16, etc. So Madden 20 is running meta with stretch. It was dive. It was a kind of response to Madden 19, because Madden 19 was like a crosser year, right? We had Pat Sale as like the main mega meta play where you couldn't do, we didn't have zone drops yet. So Madden 20, like, you know what? Let's make passing very difficult. Let's make running fairly easy. And the reason why stretch and dive were so powerful was twofold, right? Stretch was powerful because it doesn't matter who your tight end was, doesn't matter who the defensive end was. There was pre-canned animations. Now, the pre-canned animation in Madden 19 would have the defensive end beat the tight end on stretches, and it didn't matter the ratings that. So stretches weren't good. So Madden 19, you had to like kind of pass the ball, because that was in response to Madden 18 being a power run meta, where you would be able to just get around the edge, you know, the quick toss, that kind of stuff. So power run, quick toss in Madden 18. And then Madden 19 came back in the auto win, and then they went completely the other direction in Madden 20. So in Madden 18, the tight end beat the defensive end to hook them for, like, you know, tosses around the edge, powers, that kind of stuff. Madden 19, they responded by going completely the other way, right? The defensive end beat the tight end on blocks, on the edge. They did their job. Madden 20, they in response to some, I saw competitive players complaining that it always worked no matter what, they decided to go completely the other way, right? They went back to like Madden 18 where the tight end always hooked the end and they could always pass it off to the tackle. It made running outside absurdly strong unless you had very specific defensive setups, right? Out of 3-4 bear, there were very few defenses in the game that could handle the stretch because of the inability of defensive players, no matter what the rating. Khalil Mack would just get destroyed by a 50 run blocking tight end. It didn't even matter. And then combine that with dive, because dive was so powerful because of the pre-canned shed animations that are in the game. Even if you get them, they take so long that the running back's already going by. That's still a problem, Madden, to this day. The pre-canned animations where you can't get off and get and reach out for a tackle in time, still a major problem, Madden 23. But Madden 20 was there too, right? The pre-canned animation. So you're up to the second level, and then once you're there, right? So like the front line does nothing. The linebackers don't pursue. If the user can get to you, they can try you, but if they don't have like the certain tackling ability, they can't take you down because you auto break every single tackle. And really the only thing that argued that was Enforcer. And all you could do with Enforcer was click off and hope the computer lays the hit stick. So even if you got your user to it, you got your tackle broken. Even if you didn't, he could have like got up and run anyway. So Madden 20 was a very big running year due to just a couple simple imbalanced gameplay mechanics. And then this guy just made it worse. So not only, you know, boosted up from 93 to like 97, 98 speed. So not only was one of the fastest cards out, and this was like in December, you know, this was not exactly endgame when he came out, he also broke every first tackle. So the fastest, best breaking tackle card on the field, overpowered, absurdly overpowered, came out, and he made all of our lives miserable. Now, Madden's in a weird spot because some things that are fun for one person can be miserable for another, right? When you use something overpowered and you dominate someone else, that's fun for a little bit, right? Like you know, you can punch fifth graders, right, in the nose a lot, and maybe it's fun for a little bit. After a while, like, what are you doing? Why are you punching these children? Why is this in the game? So EA ended up nerfing it, and then now, rest in peace, Kralo. He's not dead, he just got a new job, so he's dead to us. Made an announcement about how they're gonna change this Dickerson card.
There's a lot of conversation around the run game meta, and you know, we've had, you know, the run commit changes from the gameplay perspective. The Madden Ultimate Team has been looking at a lot of things when it comes down to the run game and also like the balancing of things. So they're constantly looking at telemetry, which are just analytics in the game, how players are using items and whatnot. Now, one of the things that the MUT team will be doing is for Eric Dickerson is that I'm just going to read these notes. We're just changing his knockout condition. So he will start and stay on, but instead of it turning off when you tackle him for a loss, it will now be after 5 down plays.
So he was so absurd, not only for how joysticky it was, jukes and spins being absurd. You've seen a lot of the clips in this video itself. Broken tackles, stop and defensive pursuit. Acceleration was insane in 20 because of the arcadiness, the stumble recovery. There were no gang tackles. Stiff arm was all right. All these factors, all the things that I've talked about, being a run year, being impossible to pass, it just kind of all came together to make Eric Dickerson's NFL 100 card and later his Ultimate Legend card into the most absurd running backs we've ever seen in Madden. And even in Madden 23, where we have defenses for Freight Train, it's still absurdly overpowered. So like, for those that play 23 and hate maybe what the Flash have done, and hate what Dylan's Quad Father's done, it was even worse in 20 in an insanely powerful run year. And I'm glad for those that didn't play that you didn't. I know some people really liked 20, but it, like I said, was the only year I ever thought about giving up this whole dang thing. So even though I'm very angry at EA, we're protesting the game right now because of what they've done with the trade block and other things, but mainly the trade block, it still it pales in comparison to Madden 20, and it's a significantly better game than that. So that's the video. Eric Dickerson, that's his history. As you see, he's just been absurd. He came, he met us at a very strange moment in our life, and, shout out to you, most overpowered card in Madden history. Take care.